Hey, Kevin, what are you doing?
Well, I promised you guys a little while back that I would do a comparison between the AHP Alpha 160 ST, which is a stick TIG machine, and the Everlast PowerARC 160 STH, which is a stick TIG high frequency machine. So there's really only two big differences between these machines, and it's that the Everlast PowerARC 160 STH has that high frequency function for the TIG welder, and it also has the gas connection on it. So the argon gas goes through this machine and then out to the TIG torch. Where on the little AHP, you have to take your TIG torch and hook it directly to your bottle, and you have a little knob on the top of your TIG torch to control your gas. Not a big deal, but you know, that's the difference between the two of them. High frequency, gas through, no high frequency, just lift start only, and no gas through the machine.
For TIG.
For TIG, right. Now, for stick welding, they're really, really similar to one another. Both of them are 160 amp machines. Both of them are dual voltage. Size-wise, you saw them from the front. That's the difference from the side. Well, this has a handle, this one has a strap. I would say the Everlast is about twice as heavy. You know, maybe 3/4 as heavy. You know, you can tell there's a little more weight there. You know, after 2 or 3 hours of lugging this around the job site, you might want to put it down, where this just feels like a lunchbox with a full thermos. I'm sorry. It's such a cute little machine. But I'm sure you guys and gals are saying, Kevin, for God's sakes, shut up and weld. All right, let me get my helmet. So I got both machines fired up. They're both on 115 amps. I'm going to run the AHP first. 115 amps, 1/8 inch diameter, 70/18 rod, up against a piece of 1/2 inch plate. I love this rod. It burns so nice and smooth. This is some of that Lincoln Excalibur rod. Just lay the stick right down on the metal, you know, at a nice angle, and just let it burn itself off and walk along at the same time. Yeah, this is the Everlast PowerARC 160 STH. Sounds a little more energetic, if you will, you know, a little harsher. But doing the same thing, just laying the rod right on the metal, at the edge of the rod, and just letting it burn itself off and walk along. So that's actually kind of interesting to run them both side by side like that. The Everlast 115 amps felt like, sounded like, it was a little bit hotter than the 115 on the AHP. The rod wanted to dip into the metal a little easier, you know, like it was getting more penetration out of it. I could see where I was running the rod along the metal, where this part of it was burning real nice and it was digging in, but I could see little globs falling off of this end where it wasn't doing that with the AHP. So like this, you know, the Everlast was just a little bit hotter. A big deal? No, not really. Just learn the quirks of your machine. You know, this is where practice comes in. So figure out, well, okay, on that one I'd run it at 111, you know, instead of 115. So I chipped off all the slag so we can see what we wound up with. And yep, I think I'm actually right. The AHP line looks real nice, but it's a little humped. It's a little cold. Just doing. Of course, now that could have been simply because this plate was stone cold. and that was the first weld I put on there. So that weld may have preheated the plate a little bit, made this one weld just a little bit easier. It's a little bit flatter. It's not humped up quite so much. Little more penetration, it looks like, at the very end where it started to go off the edge of the plate. So how would I rate the two machines? Well, stick welding wise, very, very similar to one another. Put them both, right on the same line with one another. Very, very similar. Physical size, of course, the Everlast is a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier. I have it on a cart rather than carrying it around. The AHP, if I got to fix a fence or something, I got to take it out in the field somewhere. If I got to do a repair of a sculpture on site someplace, this is the machine I'm going to take with me. I love the high frequency start in the Everlast. Price-wise, the Everlast, I found it over on eBay for $440. And the AHP is normally $240. That's what it was selling for, but it's out of stock right now. Should be back in the next month or so. So I'm going to put these away. I'm going to get my butt back to work. You're going to come out to Facebook and check me out there. And don't forget, I'm also over on Instagram. I'll see you guys next time. These two welders are the same size as my head.